Welcome to this explainer. Look, today we are tearing down the tired, traditional advice about money and digging into the actual, untold blueprint that self-made millionaires use to build wealth from absolutely nothing. If you're feeling frustrated by the standard, skip your morning coffee and save your pennies for 40 years advice, you are definitely not alone. Deep down, you probably know that math just isn't going to get you ahead. Well, you're in the right place. We're looking at a brilliant analysis by Habib Mahmoud that strips away all that outdated noise and shows us the actual mechanics of wealth creation.
So let's dive straight into the million-dollar question for anyone feeling stuck right now. How do you actually build wealth when your starting line is zero? We're talking no rich uncle, no trust fund, no lucky lottery ticket. Society loves to push this heavy narrative that wealth is a game totally rigged for people who are already rich. But if you want to take actionable steps with the limited resources you have right now, that victim mentality is the very first thing we have to throw out the window. Because as you're about to see, that assumption is completely backward.
Let's start with Section 1, the Great Money Myth.
We really need to begin by shattering the most common illusion holding you back. It's the divide in how we think. Most of us are taught the employee mindset. You trade 40 years of your time for a safe paycheck. The formula there is just money equals time spent. But the builders, the capitalists, they see an entirely different reality. To them, money equals created value. Think about it. You could literally work 80-hour weeks at a minimum wage job, right? Working twice as hard, and you will still never become a millionaire doing it because you aren't paid for your time. You are rewarded by the marketplace solely for the value you provide to it.
That takes us straight to Section 2, the self-made reality.
If you're sitting there thinking wealth is only for the lucky few, the data tells a completely different, honestly super encouraging story. Research shows a massive 88% of all millionaires are entirely self-made. Really let that sink in for a second. Nearly 9 out of 10 millionaires started exactly where you might be right now. It completely wipes out the "I didn't come from money" excuse. They figured out the mechanics of value creation and went to work, proving this system is open to anyone. And get this, even if we look at the absolute highest levels, the ultra-wealthy with a net worth of $30 million or more, a staggering 68% built their empires completely from nothing. The majority of people at the absolute pinnacle of financial success started with a blank slate. This isn't a fluke, it's a reproducible formula that scales all the way to the top.
The big takeaway here is that your starting line is absolutely not your destiny. Your current bank balance does not dictate where you end up. When you have limited financial resources, your most valuable asset is your human capital. The free books you read, the smart risks you take, the sheer sweat equity you put in. Sweat equity literally replaces financial equity at the starting line. Your actions write your future. So, how do we do it? Section 3, Law 1, solve a problem. Let's look at the actual blueprint. Think about giants like Google, Apple, and Amazon. They didn't just invent shiny things. They solved massive universal problems. Google made finding information easy. Amazon removed the friction of shopping. Now, you don't have to build the next tech monopoly. Think of it like a plumber. If a pipe bursts and floods your house, you will gladly pay a premium to fix that immediately. The massive value isn't in turning the wrench. It's the sheer relief of a solved crisis. You just need to find an existing problem in the market and fix it.
To understand how this scales, we have to talk about perceived value. Take an accountant versus a pro athlete. An accountant might grind through 80-hour weeks during tax season, but a star athlete plays a game for 3 hours and makes millions. Why? Because of leverage. The athlete's rare skills are leveraged to a stadium of tens of thousands of paying fans. The market pays the athlete exponentially more because they create massive perceived value at a huge scale, while the accountant is paid just for their individual time with one client. Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, Law 2, break time limits.
You have to get off that exhausting time-for-money treadmill. This quote hits the nail on the head. Wealthy people don't sell their time to an employer for money. Wealthy people buy other people's time for their own business to create leverage for their ideas. Think about it. Selling your time is like carrying buckets of water from a river to a village. You only get paid for the trips you make, and eventually you're gonna get too tired to carry another bucket. That's why side hustles can lead to burnout. You want to build a pipeline instead. It takes effort up front, but eventually the water just flows. The wealthy focus their energy on growing equity and building assets, completely disconnecting their income from the 24 hours in a day. When you work for a paycheck, your active income hits a brick wall the second you go to sleep, but assets work around the clock. And if you're starting from zero, hear me on this. An asset doesn't have to be a massive real estate portfolio. It can be a digital product, a blog, or an automated dropshipping store. You can build these from absolutely nothing.
Section 5. Law 3. Scale your solution.
Once you're solving a problem and breaking that time barrier, you have to scale. And this is highly actionable for anyone with limited resources thanks to digital leverage. Think of scaling like baking. Instead of baking one cake at a time to sell, you write the ultimate cake recipe book. You write it once, and millions of people can buy it. That's royalties. Creating an e-course, starting a YouTube channel, or building software costs almost nothing to duplicate once it's done. You are literally turning your free human capital into an infinitely scalable asset.
Finally, Section 6, the ultimate wealth accelerator.
So what is the absolute fastest way to accelerate this whole process? It comes down to 3 steps. Step 1. Start small exactly where you are. Don't wait for perfection. Step 2. Build something of value by solving a problem. And step 3, this is absolutely crucial. Gain majority ownership in a business. You have to protect the value you create. The world's top billionaires built their wealth by creating a business, keeping the lion's share of the pie, and letting that pie grow.
Let me show you how crazy this math actually is. Say you build a business from scratch. It's doing great and you need capital to expand. So you sell just a 10% slice of your company to an investor for $112,000. Because you still own the other 90%, the implied total value of your company means your equity just made you a millionaire on paper. You didn't have to scrimp and save $1 million in a bank account. You strategically built an asset that the market says is worth $1 million.
The blueprint is right there. Find a problem and solve it. Disconnect your time from your money. Build leverage and keep majority ownership of the assets you create. The market doesn't care about your background or how much money your parents had. It simply rewards you for the value you provide. The power is entirely in your hands right now. So knowing all of this, the only question left for you is, what problem will you start solving today?